and research experience, Dr. Nalini has made significant contribution of the field of immunology, molecular physiology, biodiversity studies, entomology, and environmental biology. Her research primarily focus on the immunomechanism of invertebrates, insect physiology, biodiversity documentation, and environmentally sustainable approaches for the vector control and public health. Dr. Nalli has successfully guided the several MPhil and PhD scholars and has been associated with the number of important research projects funded by the DBT, MHRD, and secure grants several grants from MHRD and DBT. And also uh, he secured a grant project related to the mosquito biodiversity, insecticide resistant biological control agent, and green nanotechnology application. Her academic achievement including the numerous peer reviewed research publication in reputed national and international journals, gene sequencing submission to international database, and patent in the field of the biopesticide and mosquito repellent. She has also served as a reviewer for the several international scientific journals and has been invited as a speaker, resource person, and session chair and expert at various national and international conferences. Beyond her research contribution, Dr. Nalini is deeply committed to science, to outreach, and environmental awareness. She has organized workshop, diversity and survey, biodiversity survey, bird census program, beach cleanup drive, and education activities aimed at promoting the scientific temper and environmental stewardship among the students and the wider community. Today, Dr. Delhi will deliver a talk on medicinal plant around us, where she will share insight into the importance of the medicinal plant, their traditional and scientific significance, and their role promoting healthy lifestyle and sustainable living. Friends, please join in extending our warm welcome to Dr. Nalini ma'am. Madam, we are truly honored you have joined with us today, and now over to you. Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning to all. Thank you very much for the nice introduction. Can I have the slides? You can hear that.
PPT is visible?
Yeah, go to slideshow, please.
Okay. Ma'am, now PPT is visible in full screen?
Yeah. Good morning to all. First of all, I thank the organizers and the institutes associated for inviting me to give a lecture on this World Environmental Day. Thank you for that, and thank you for the nice introduction about me. And today my topic will be on medicinal plants around us. Click again. This medicinal plants, why I have chosen, I have kept this topic is, all of us live in a house, wait please, where we have a backyard. Also, we have some place in the front. We like to keep some flowering plants. Other than that, in olden days, if you look into those houses, they will have only fences. Nowadays, we have compounds, but we have very nice fences. On the fences itself, we can see several plants which will be of medicinal value. And all these plants will not be seen throughout the year. It will be seen only at times, seasonally, sometimes during rains, sometimes off season where no rains at all, sometimes during the dry conditions. Okay. So this, if you look at carefully those plants, if you observe them continuously throughout the year, you can find out that those plants will be used during those season times, and that will be useful for any ailments or any small infections that will be caused, that will those plants itself by it will be preventing. So these are the significance of these plants which will be seen around us or in our gardens like that. So go to next slide. Yeah. Here, when you say that plants, all the plants come under plant kingdom. That is, these include herbs, grasses, shrubs, and trees. And all these plants produce their own food by the process of photosynthesis. All of us know that with the help of sunlight, air, and water through the root, these plants produce their own food. And those plants that are producing their own food only, they are called as plants. Okay, through photosynthesis. And among these plants, herbs, all herbs are supposed to be called as plants, but all plants are not herbs. Here it means that they have based on the um, physical structure. Okay, so that I will come later. And according to the dictionary of medicinal plants here by Larose, they say that when does a plant is called as a medicinal plant? Whether the whole plant or a part of a plant, its root, leaf, or flower or bark are able to prevent some um, difficult condition, physiological condition, or it is able to relieve some pain or able to treat a some disease condition. Okay, at that time only that plant is called as medicinal plant, and they in that case they will contain some active ingredients that can be recognized, ingredients that can be recognized, and these are the therapeutic properties that they have. Okay, so the medicinal plants, one all medicinal plants, next one, all medicinal plants will not have will have therapeutic properties, but when does a plant is exactly called therapeutic plant? In that case, the therapeutic plants will have a presence of active ingredient, either in that ingredient alone or that ingredient along with some cofactor. It can find a direct application in medicine or in some paramedical practice. Okay, during these conditions, those plants are called as therapeutic plants. So here I said about medicinal plants. Medicinal plants are supposed to have some properties which can treat some condition, physiological condition. Whereas therapeutic plants, they'll have specific ingredients. So this is the difference between these two. Okay. And not all medicinal plants are necessarily used in strict therapy. That should be distinguished. Okay. Medicinal plants cannot be become a therapeutic. They may or may not become a therapeutic plant. Okay. So when I told about herbs, grasses, shrubs, and trees, we should to know what are herbs and what are grasses and shrubs so that we can distinguish. And these, whatever I say, these herbs, grasses, shrubs, and trees, all can be grown in the backyard or in the front of the house itself. Okay. So this is not a very difficult task, or most of the plants grow very well at the backyard. Okay. Herbs, herbs are the smallest ones. They have very soft. They will be very soft with delicate stems. They are greens, most of them. So here the examples are grass, wheat, paddy. If you see them, these all will be they have a soft stem. Okay, they are flexible stems. Okay, coriander, mint, etc. And where does grasses falls? Grasses are they have narrow leaves. They have joined stems and fibrous root system. This is a continuous, a kind of the bottom it's of the root system. So they are continuously connected. That's why they are separately called as grasses. These include the lawn grass, bamboo, sugarcane, cereals, etc. And shrubs. Coming to shrubs, they are all medium-sized plants. They are bushy plants with somewhat hard woody stems, but from the bottom itself, they have branching stems from the bottom itself, and they'll be of 1 to 3 meter height. And example, rose, jasmine, lemon, hibiscus, tulsi, or holy basil, etc. Okay, and then these are so herbs is the smallest, shrubs become the medium, and the trees. Trees are the tallest ones with thick, hard, woody stem, which is called as trunk. And these are supposed to be perennials. They live a longer duration. And example are mango, neem, banyan, coconut, etc. Okay. So based on this, all these can be grown in our garden at home itself. I think all of you must be knowing about, please wait, sir. All of you might be knowing about the mango tree, neem. Neem has many properties, banyan tree, and then coconut. Banyan trees are seen in parks, also in the temple gardens, etc. Okay, and other shrubs we regularly grow in our homes. We have rose plants, jasmine, lemon, lemon. We call it as trees, but lemon comes under shrubs, and hibiscus plants and tulsi and all. Here and herbs, they are really seasonal herbs, because the coriander and mint and all we get sometime only in the very pleasant season of off season, like there should not be heavy rains, there should not be very, it should not be very hot also. Okay, during those times only we get these herbs. Go to the next one. So using all these plants, we all very well know that our body has a very strong skeletal system, which has inside the skeletal system, our organs are placed from the brain to the heart, lungs, stomach, kidney, etc. And all these are covered by muscle. And all these are interconnected by the circulatory system and the nervous system of the brain. Okay, next one. So to keep this, to maintain our health, or to maintain the internal organs of our body, what all should be used, or what are the plants that are present around us can be used. This is first one is the Centinella asiatica, which is commonly known as Brahmi or Indian pennywood. Okay, I'm going from the top of our body. Okay, so top is the main is our brain. Okay, so I'm going from that side. So when we use these plants have a very delicate stem. They will be seen only where wet soil is present, but not too wet. It should have sunshine also, but somewhat in the shades near the coconut trees and all, they can grow very well. Okay, in the small fields where it is continuously wetness is there. Okay, so this is when we take these plants, when we add these plants in our food, it enhances memory power and improves our focus. And it also, this is the main thing. And other things it supports our digestion, boosts our immunity, gives glowing skin. You see, when we have our memory power, obviously, when there is a reduction in stress and anxiety, the memory power will be increased and there will be more focus to our what work we are doing. Okay, so these are, when there is reduction in stress and anxiety, it can lead to good sleep also. So when this plant, you need not, these plants are not available throughout the year. Whenever it is available, we can use these plants. And these plants also, they are not consumed as a wholesome, and because they are considered to be as medicinal plants. So our ancestors, what they have made is this, a part of it can be used along with some cereals or with some other greens. Like that only this can be used, and this supports the whole central nervous system. Okay, next one. And the next one is the whatever we are looking, it is shrub. Okay, and the first one is herb. This one is a shrub. Okay, this one is Solanum nigrum. This is also called as black nightshade. This one, the main purpose, whenever there is some mouth ulcer or when we feel some irritation in our stomach, so immediately our ancestors or our grandma or moms at home, immediately they recommend this plant. Immediately they take these leaves, clean them and put it in water slightly, they'll boil it, and immediately they give this the soup of that water, that extract will be given to us, so that it will immediately reduce the pain of the mouth ulcer and the stomach ulcers very soon, without going to the doctor or taking any allopathy medicine. This plant itself can maintain our this can reduce or eradicate our ulceration in the stomach and mouth. Also, the fruit of this plant, it is a blackberry. You can see that that blackberry is very tasty. It will be from green to, it will convert to black. That is also another species which can convert from green to orange to reddish color. Okay, so this is otherwise known as Solanum nigrum in its biological name. So it prevents the mouth ulcer and stomach ulcer. Next. And another plant, which is, this is another one which is called as Vitex negunda. or in Tamil we call it as Nalla Nuchi. Nuchi is the actual name. Okay, so this plant, this plant has there are different species of these are present. They have 3-leaf type and also 5-leaf type. Okay, this plant is mainly used for anti-inflammatory purposes, wherein the leaves and oil of it reduces our alleviate rheumatic or arthritic pain. Also, it removes headaches, and also um, this one is used for um, this one when you take these leaves and put it in water and inhale the steam, the congestion in our nose, these all will be relieved and we can breathe easily. That is, and whenever there is some infection through respiratory system to the lungs, this can easily prevent them or give a feel free pathway to our through our nose to up to the lungs. Okay, and also other than this plant is when they use these leaves, they dry the leaves in the shade, and these leaves are used as insect repellent. We store grains for long duration, right? So those grains, instead of using chemical insecticides like that, these leaves can be added with the grains and can be stored. The dry leaves can be added with the grains and it can be stored. So this will prevent insects or some whatever insects, these beetles and all which can infest grains can be avoided. Also, this is not poisonous, as you know that, because this can prevent our this can keep our health in a better way, like acting as anti-inflammatory, and it can also remove our congestion of the respiratory tract. Okay. So this is another shrub. Next one. Next. And yeah. This plant is also a shrub like, but this will grow like a creeper continuously. You know, mainly these plants, that Vitex negunda, which I showed previously, and the Solanum trilobatum. This is Solanum trilobatum. This one, all these are seen mainly on the fences. Because you can see the leaves has some thorns in it. This is also known as climbing brinjal. Why this is known as climbing brinjal is this has um, purple flowers, and somewhat a purple fruits, like small fruits like. That's why it is called as climbing brinjal. And this is a natural expectorant which can remove chest congestion where there is continuously coughs, and in asthma case also it can prevent some extent, or it can comfort the comfort. This can give us some comfort during our respiration. You know what is the significance of this is these leaves are taken and they can fry these leaves along with ghee. So why? Because this leaf itself is a very strong. It has it can generate heat. So to avoid that, they mix it with the ghee, and then this can be eaten as such. So if they eat as such, then asthma conditions and the congestion in the chest will be immediately relieved. You can really once if you take once or twice in a day, that itself will immediately relieve you from coughs and cold. Also, you can't take much. Remember that they will say you have to restrict. You can't take much. You can at a time you can take at least some 5 or 7 leaves only, not more than that. That is not required. That is why and these plants are we have to choose carefully the leaves, not older ones. The adult leaves we can choose and we can use it. Also, because this plant, the leaves of this plant also um, uh, protects the liver in such a way that it remove whatever phlegm present in the liver also it will be removed due to this plant when we consume these leaves of this plant. Next one. Um, yeah, this is also another shrub. I told you this is called as holy basil or tulsi. Also, this is mainly known as queen of herbs. You know why it is called as queen of herbs is um, this plant it it is a wholesome for the respiratory tract. Previously, I told you in different ways, but here This plant is available throughout the year. That's why this is called as queen of herbs. And also this one where you can, if you take one leaf a day, that itself gives a complete, your respiratory tract is always clean. That will help you so that your immune system is always under control and it will be continuously eliminating whatever any infectious agents comes in. Okay, so this can also prevent cough, asthma, and also fever. When you take the leaves, boil it and drink the water, this water can control fever. Due to this, it can support mental health and stress relief. This can also, if you eat the leaf, you can feel that pungent smell, and it can give them a complete metabolic metabolism also enhanced, and it can support your kidney health thereby. Okay,
Yeah.
so this plant is also a herb which is known as, supposed to be the queen of herbs, also known as Osmum tenuiflorum. Initially, it was known as Osmum sanctum, and now it is called as Osmum tenuiflorum. Next one, sir. Next one, sir. The next one. Yeah, and hibiscus rosa sinensis. This is commonly called a shoe flower or sembarati in Tamil. And this plant, this acts as a anti-hypertensive, because this has a mucus in that. It is also used for hair and skin care products, where it can strengthen the hair root, can enhance metabolic and kidney health. Because it enhances metabolism and kidney health, that is why it is converted as anti-hypertensive medicine. Okay, and it strengthens the muscles of the reproductive system. Here, this plant, when it is taken as a tea, the flower can be taken and it can be boiled with water. That water can be that water. If you take that water, that is the hibiscus tea extract, they call it. If you take that tea, the reproductive system is healthy, and it will not be, there will not be any trouble. Okay. This one. Next one, sir. Next one. Yeah, this is also another shrub. This is commonly called as Indian copper leaf or Pupaimeni. This is in scientific name is Acalypha indica. Now, this one is mainly known for whatever the skin problem that is present. Any small, even insect bite, or due to some lesions present on the skin, whatever skin order and disorders is present, it can cure that. And usually they take the leaf, just crush the leaf, and you can apply it on that surface a few times a day, so that it will be cleared very soon. Or if necessary, this can be boiled with not boiled, it can be heated with coconut oil, and that oil can be applied so that it can give some antibacterial properties. And the dryness of the skin also can be prevented. There are several skin problems which occur nowadays due to use of plastics and the pollution present around. So this plant usually grow only in the wastelands. You need not water them, or you need not do anything. Immediately after the rains, if there is just few rains, immediately after that you can see these plants so healthy, and we can use the leaf, and we can correct our skin disorders at our home itself. Next one. This is also a shrub which is called as aloe vera. Everybody must be knowing about aloe vera. It has the properties, the gel it has inside, the gel that gel has several properties. It is used for skin and hair care properties. It is also used in moisturizers. It gives a kind of soothing effect. It strengthens the scalp. That is how it helps our hair care. And also it is also a disinfectant. It can disinfect in the sense it can kill certain fungal fungus that can affect us. Also, it is this one is when taken as a juice. The inside gel of that is taken as a juice. It can serve as a digestive aid. Like it can soothe the upset stomach, and can enhance or improve the gut flora. And this is the main thing which supports the large intestine. Compared to all other plants, this one is a very very nice medicinal plant, and this can grow very easily in the soils at the backyard itself. Whatever plants I'm showing, all can grow within a house. Okay, this one also known as in Tamil, it is known as Sothu Katra, right? And the skin, whatever skin problems is present, and the hair and the scalp of the hair can be taken care of by this plant. You can just apply and you can wash. That itself will do. You need not we need not convert it into anything. Nothing very large or not very long processes are not required for these kind of plants. Next one, please. Next, yeah, this is a shrub, but it grows like a creeper, as I said for Solanum trilobata. Okay, this one is called as Cissus quadrangularis. The common name is wild grape or pirandai, we call it in Tamil. And this is the one which supports the skeletal system, the complete skeletal system. When somebody has met with fracture, or if they have some hairline, if the doctor reports some hairline crack. I think everybody know what is hairline crack. You need not go for a big bandage or anything. Just without much movement, the hairline cracks can be corrected. So during that time and all, if you take this, you have to remove. You need not take the leaves. The stem part alone, the one that is green stem part alone, stick like is the stem part. This one, when you take this and you can make some chutney or something like that, and if you take that, that will immediately have an effect that your fracture and any hairline crack will immediately can be cured faster compared to the allopathy medicine. Okay, so and also this plant can grow anywhere. If you just take a small stem of it will be coming into pieces like 3 or 4 inches pieces. You can break it. That pieces, if you just keep it on soil, it will automatically grow. You need not go and take care much and all. Another one, the second picture I have shown that it is just grown as a bush like. There are several plants in that. In that, this one has also grown along. That's what I have shown here. So to maintain our skeletal structure strong and to prevent our bones going into osteoporosis, we can use this plant. Also, people with rheumatoid arthritis, um, and these people can take this plant regularly so that they can, to some extent, withstand the difficulties, or the movement can be made comfortable. This plant is also involved in generation of the connective tissues. These connective tissues, if they are functionally active only, then we can fold our hands, fingers, or whatnot. So that is how rheumatoid arthritis um, can be withstood by the help of this plant. Next one. Another one. This plant is also a shrub. This is called as elephant tribulus or Anai nerinjil. This plant, all the scientific name is Pedalium murex. Why I have given the excretory system here? Why this plant is significant for excretory system is this can break the kidney stones. I have seen just last year itself. I have seen one of my colleague who he's suffering from kidney stone. He just every day he took twice the juice of these leaves. All the kidney stones have been completely removed. This I saw practically. I was so wondered how come. See, people, even the doctors, I don't know. Always the doctors will suggest for some. Yeah, they suggest for some good medicine. Also, sometimes they need to go for surgery or breaking the kidney stones like that. Some surgical procedures. But this plant is a wonderful plant that in the extract of the leaves alone, having twice a day, to some extent empty stomach, it really breaks the kidney stones, and the stones comes out very easily. So the urinary, it prevents the urinary infection or the painful urination, as well as it takes care of the kidney health. Also, this is significant for male regeneration. Next one. Yeah, this is also another shrub which is commonly called as Madagascar periwinkle, also known as Catharanthus rosis in botanical name. This is restricted. This was found initially restricted to Madagascar, and now it is seen throughout the places. And Catharanthus, it is mainly the plant. The flowers is mainly meant for curing certain cancers. Yeah, early cancer if detected, because this plant itself has certain compounds like vincristine and vinblastine. These two compounds are involved in cancer treatment. So you can see the lungs. One that I have shown the healthy lung as well as the lung with cancer. These initial stages are also oral cancer. They have reported that for oral cancer, catharanthus is very effective because they just put these leaves in water, hot water, just mix that water and just goggle. If you can, this ones you need not do only when when there is some infection or some from bad physiological condition occurs. You can just do it periodically, like once in a week or twice in a month, like that. Okay, so they have naturally, most of the plants have antimicrobial properties. This can prevent various oral infections like bleeding in the gum, toothache, and some stains in the teeth. Those things and all can be cured by these plants. So if we are taking this for bleeding in the gum or toothache, automatically this can prevent oral cancer also. Okay, so this is the significance of this plant. So next one. Yeah, this comes under grasses, which is called as Cynodon dactylon, commonly known as Bermuda or Durva grass. This whole plant, as you know, this is called as arugambul or this grass. This grass can be taken and just can be crushed, and it is sold as juices. Okay, arugambul juice or Cynodon dactylon juice. Okay, Durva grass juice. Okay, this grass juice, when we take in empty stomach, it acts as a very good blood purifier. It cleans our circulatory system, and it also detoxifies whatever whatever we have taken. That it acts as a very strong blood purifier. Also, other than that, since it is taken in the empty stomach, it stabilizes our blood glucose level, and certain skin fungal infections are also cured automatically when there is a blood is going to be purified and detoxified, and detoxification occurs automatically. Any fungal infections also will be cured. Okay, so that's why I given the circulatory system here. Next one. Yeah, one thing I forgot to tell. The Cynodon dactylon is also used in puja for Ganesha. Okay, and this plant is an Indian borage, commonly called as Omavalli. And if you look at this plant has a very leathery or succulent leaves, and these plants are shrubs. And these plants are very good for several properties. First thing is for antimicrobial, anti-cancer. Anti-cancer, I told you several plants. This one is also included. Also, catharanthus also can be included. And here, this antimicrobial property, I said, and anti-malarial properties. We have to pluck few leaves, boil it in water. That water alone, when we take, the fever will reduce. Especially when we have some during malarial fever, this and all will be reduced. Also, above this, when this plant is present, mosquitoes will not be there. This plant serves as a kind of mosquito repellent. That is the very advantages of this plant. And this plant almost needs zero maintenance. It can grow very well in the soil, and it can mm, it will not die at all. If you just keep one small piece itself, you need not look for a stem or like that. If we keep a very small stem, that itself will grow. And other than this, it prevents respiratory problems. Several the congestion throughout the lungs. It removes all that. And above this, the lungs, there could be some phlegm will be present during cold. Also, the liver also will be having some phlegm during our severe cold conditions. All this will be removed from our body when we take the decoction or the extract of these leaves. Okay, next one. Yeah, coming to turmeric. Everybody will know about turmeric, and this is again a shrub. This can be grown very easily. Just keep one turmeric. Of course, seeds are there. We can we can save the seeds every seasonal. This is a seasonal one, and especially this will be available during January, during the Pongal um, or Mahar Sankranti, they call it. That time it is available. We can use those plants, and later we can take those seeds and we can save it, and again we can sow it in soil, and we can keep it throughout the year. Okay, so this one, when we take turmeric in the form of we can mix few pinch of turmeric and mix it with water and drink it, so it can prevent mouth ulcer because it acts as an antiseptic. So if you say that antiseptic throughout the body, from the mouth, oral region till the esophagus and the stomach region, it completely kills, or it completely acts as an antiseptic agent to remove all the infectious microorganisms present in the oral region, okay, or the digestive system itself. Also, it acts as a blood purifier, also as a vermicide. Vermicide is to remove certain worms which is present in our stomach. This can also be removed. This one is called as curcuma longa. The main um, the active ingredient present in it is curcumin. Sometime back, it was they're trying to patent this as their own, but our in our university, in Madras University, one and Professor Dr. S.P. Tyagarajan was also former Vice Chancellor of Madras University. He filed a case, and he said that this is our country's native of our country, and most of the plants are native of our country only. It has been distributed um, only in the Southern Asia region alone. Okay. Okay, next one. Yeah. Um, uh, Turmeric, which I told, that is also used in pujas, all these. When we look into whatever plants that has been used, always these plants will be associated one way or other with the gods which we pray, or it will be associated with our food, or it will be associated with some puja in at our food. Okay, this one is called a pinwheel flower. This pinwheel flower is, it has petals, 5 petals, which is round like, and the petals are distinct also. This is scientifically called as Tabernamontana divaricata, and this one is mainly um, this has latex in it, and this one is mainly used for reddishness, to reduce the reddishness of the eyes. Of course, when we sit for a long time, there are getting reddishness of the eyes has several reasons. The first one is when there is some minor infections. At that time, there is possible for reddishness. Also, when we sit in the screen, or when we are in the screen for a long time, also when we don't have enough sleep, that also leads to the reddishness of the eyes. So all this can be prevented when we keep these flowers alone. When we keep on the eyelids for some time, we change the flowers, some 2 or 3 flowers frequently, and the reddishness can be reduced. And if any infectious agents present in our eyes also will be eradicated from that. Okay, next one. Also, this is a shrub also. Next one. Yeah, this is another shrub which we call it as Kiranelli in Tamil, and this is called as Phyllanthus niruri. Phyllanthus niruri is the underneath there will be small seeds will be present in this plant, and this one is mainly meant for liver ailments only. That is, it prevents jaundice. Jaundice, once jaundice occurs, this can be if attended at the right time, person can be saved. If not, it will be fatal. So for that, and this plant, Phyllanthus, we have this has to be ground and mixed with curd, and it has to be taken periodically. If it's taken periodically, then the person will be completely relieved of jaundice. They should not add salt in their food at that time, so that the liver will be purified, the virus can be removed, and therefore the person will be recovered from jaundice. Okay, this is called as Phyllanthus and Kiranelli. This one, some plants I have shown along back side or the background also, you can see some other plants. That means they can grow anywhere along with other plants. Only thing we have to identify which is the plant which can help us for some medications. Okay, next one. Yeah, this one all of us know that mimosa pudica or touch me not plant. No, this one they don't use much because this one when we touch it, then it shrinks. So this has a very nice property of wound healing. When we have some small cuts or something, the wounds can be easily healed. It has some anti-inflammatory. So when will the wound will be healed? When there is some antimicrobial property in the plant, that time only wound will be healed because wound will not be exposed further to any microorganisms. Also, it has some anti-inflammatory property. Okay. Yeah, this is also a shrub which can grow as a roadside plant. Next one. So till now I have been talking about grasses. Grasses is one grass only I spoke about, Cynodon dactylon, and all others are shrubs. And a few herbs I spoke about. All others are shrubs only because now we know that these plants which cannot grow perennially throughout the year. They can withstand throughout the year. Those plants are only called as shrubs, and these are seasonal. Whatever is seen seasonal, that means uh, there is a chances for getting infection during that season. That's why those plants are occurring during that season. So when we take those plants, then we will be relieved of those diseases. Here now I have shown about Musa paradisiaca. This one we all of us know, banana or plantain tree. Almost all parts of the tree is used. When we uh, when we take hot food in the leaf of the tree, then that also enhances our digestion. The fruit of this, we have several varieties of the fruit enhances digestion. Also the stem, the banana stem, the banana tree stem, when it is taken out and it is cut and the water is allowed to come seep in. That water, if it is taken, that water breaks the kidney stone. This is proven, and nowadays this is also in practice. Next one, sir. Yeah, all of us know Moringa oleifera or drumstick tree. This is full of iron and it increases our iron level when taken. And this is also available throughout the year in one form or other. It will be available as lots of leaves will be there one season, and one season flowers will be there, and once the flowers grow, transform to vegetable, that is drumstick. So these also can give us a lot of iron, and this one is important for hair care. Also, it is important for throughout the body. Why throughout the body? The iron is required for production of hemoglobin. So it is a wholesome food. We can call it as wholesome food. And this moringa is available throughout the world. Nowadays, people are trying to grow, but this is available in abundance in South India. And once I have checked in some market, just 1 gram of this dried leaf is some 400 rupees. This I checked in some 10 years back. Just 1 gram of this leaf is 400 rupees, the dried form. This they add it in the soup and they take it. But for us, we are very lucky that we can get this plant as a fresh form and we can have it throughout the year. So we should to really understand that how important this plant is. Next one, sir. And this tree is. Yeah, this is date palm. Of course, coconut palm is also there. All of us know coconut palm also. And date palm is what we call it as Phoenix dactylifera. I think many of us would have seen this. This has the whole tree can be used. If you look into the earlier days, these trees are abundant, and this whole tree has been used for survival. The leaves of it is used for making thatched roofs, sometimes fences of the house also. Um, and the trunk of the tree is used as reapers inside the houses. They are so strong. And the fruit is when it is as a vegetable, if the fruit is taken, that is used as it has some water in it, and that water prevents prickly heat, especially during the summer. And if you look into this, these fruits will be available only in summer. And the outer part, you can see here the fibrous part can be used for making some dolls and all. And if you look into this tree can be seen near the seashores, near the banks of certain rivers and ponds, etc. Then this supports the water table. This tree is very very important for maintaining the water table. And thereby it also prevents soil erosion, and this tree doesn't need any care at all. Whenever the fruit is there, if we don't use the fruit falls down, and without anybody's care, it again develops into a new plant. It grows into a new plant. It germinates and tries to become a next tree, next generation. And this tree lives for several generations. So therefore, this tree is very, very important. And the leaf of the tree is used for making dolls, fans for summer, and this is the they make toddy out of it, and this toddy is very much helpful for maintaining the health. This toddy doesn't cause it is not alcoholic. It is mainly a healthy drink which is being produced, and even the leaf can itself be used as a cup for drinking that toddy without using any plastics or anything. Okay, next one, sir. Yeah. Coming to the last few slides, like if this I have given, these are some interesting publications. Here it is given as Panai Marame, written by one Dr. A. Sivasubramanian. You know, this one you can see here on this side, you can see there are palm trees. Where the palm tree is broken down, you can see there is some soil erosion is there. Whereas here you can see there is no soil erosion. Even in the beaches, it can grow very well. That is not a problem at all. And similar to coconut trees. Coconut trees also completely useful. It is also the coconut water also has medicinal values and all. It can reduces heat and keeps our the kidney and all functionally. You know, these plants, this date palm and the coconut tree and all are significant for keeping our kidney in a functional state during, especially during summer, because during summer our urine will concentrate, and to prevent that concentration and keep us hydrated, these trees are very much helpful. Okay, and this one is very interesting because this I got it from one sir, which is called as, these are plants from Tranquebar. Tranquebar is a place nearby our area. I'm put up in near Mailadurai. I think some of you might have heard about Tranquebar. Tranquebar is a place where Dutch people, they came and they stayed here. During their travel to India, they collected several plants. They collected several plants and they have documented it. They have kept one Natural History Museum of Denmark in Tranquebar. There is a museum. That museum, this also called as Tarangambadi. Tranquebar is also known as, it is known as Tarangambadi in Tamil. No, this one is there is a museum here where they have prepared herbarium, and they have nice drawings of these plants, varied plants from mango tree to the banyan tree. They have everything in the museum. If you go to that museum, you can see many things which are present. Most of them are medicinal plants, and they have documented almost most of the plants. If you look at that, you can see how many plants are there, and still how many are not discovered. Of course, I have not given everything here. There are jamun trees are there. Of course, jamun trees can be grown little far away. Mango trees can be grown in the backyard. Also, neem trees can be. And neem trees, if you look at the neem, the flower of the neem is used as food. Especially during the April month, during the Tamil New Year, sometimes they use the flower of the neem tree along with their food. Okay, so these are some of the important publications. This publication is especially about the palm tree. The author went throughout Tamil Nadu and collected all the information related to palm tree, because nowadays, because of extending the roads, they are trying to reduce the palm trees. Palm trees are seen along the roadsides also. They are trying to cut down. So to say about the ancient and the nature and the usefulness, significance of the tree, he went throughout Tamil Nadu and he has documented all the information how this tree is um, intimately associated with the people who live here. Okay, next one, next one. Mhm. The main thing for conservation, why we talk about this World Environment Day, is all these whatever plants or trees, shrubs, whatever I shown here can be grown just next to next to our house. Just when we walk out of our house itself, we can grow all these plants. So if you want to have a healthy life free of diseases, we can't say diseases. Instead, we can say free of infections, some minor ailments. To avoid that, we can have all these plants in our backyard. And this is because due to medication through food, during the food itself, when we take them as a tea or something, that is gives us a healthy lifestyle, and that way we have a clean environment with the water availability. We have good moist soil where these plants can grow. Thereby, it also supports the helpful microorganisms. Next, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Nalini Madam, for your insightful and enlightening talk on medicinal plant around us. Your insight on medicinal plant and their role in promoting healthy lifestyle were truly valuable. We will now take a few questions from audience. Mr. Rutvik, IT officer from IITM-EIACP Center, will present the question received from the participant. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Gaurav. Am I audible?
Yes.
So very interesting session, ma'am. So
Thank
we
you.
have some interesting questions over here.
Yeah.
So our audience asks that how our ancestors decides which plant used for which purpose. So there are many plants. So how they decide?
Yeah, mostly trial and error only. But they observe. We should observe our environment around us. If we could have seen cats and dogs. At times they go and eat some plants or some grasses, not plants, some grasses only. At that time itself, we can understand that they are not comfortable with the digestion. That is why they go and eat that. Nobody said nobody asked those animals to go and eat those plants, right? So like that, based on the observations, they decided. And also, if you look at based on the observation, they are decided. And if you look at these plants, whatever I have said, most of them, that's why they to save these plants, or in other words, to conserve these plants. They associated many of these plants with the gods also, to in puja and all like that. Yeah. Am I am I
Yes.
okay for that
Yes,
answer?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And next question is,
Um,
like you suggest the books, but nowadays people are learning from YouTube University and Instagram University. So you can suggest any digital platform or any YouTube channel for them, so they can understand easily.
Oh, that I did not check actually. If necessary,
Okay.
I have to find out. And no, books are these books are just out of our own interest. When we go to book exhibitions, at that time we see some books like, oh, we know some information. We add some information based on the books. Like that only we add information. YouTube channel I have to check and then only I can tell you. As such,
Okay, ma'am.
I did not check
Yes.
any channel, but many are saying one Dr. Sivaraman, sorry. One Dr. Sivaraman is having a YouTube channel. He gives lots of information about, of course, many are in Tamil only, but there are some English. I think his books are also available in English. One Dr.
O-
Sivaraman. That will
Okay.
be very.
Okay. Or that can be now they are here are some options there. We can convert any language into
Yeah,
English on YouTube,
yeah,
so
yeah,
it
yeah.
can be
That can
useful.
be done. Yeah, that will
So,
be done.
and we have another question.
Mm.
What steps can educational institutions and local communities take to conserve medicinal plant diversity in urban and rural areas?
Yeah, we come, some plants we know, some plants we have to take the advice of elderly people or other reports that has been already documented. Those things we have to take up. and we have to grow them. We have to allot some space and we have to grow them in the parks, or if not, if we don't have any backyard, we have to grow them in small pots. We have roof gardens like that. And also in parks we can grow, and in colleges we can grow. I have seen in some temples, in Hindu temples, I have seen they have kept different plants. A set of, I have video of it also. They have kept almost many of the plants they have kept, so that they are not lost. They don't want to lose the plants. For that reason, in one village, when they emptied a place, they removed some of the important plants and fixed it in a temple, so that they are conserved and they are growing it also. So we have to save, and we have to make some arrangements. Everything should not be immediately eradicated. That is important. Documentation is also important. Where we took it, and we should keep a herbarium, and we can also try to grow. We have to teach from the school level. Nowadays, schools are also having gardens. They are also more into environment friendly lifestyle like that. So we can also grow in some schools where we have some spaces and all like that. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. That solution should be followed by every institutions.
Yeah, it has to made mandatory. That is
Yes.
important, mandatory, and they should be really maintained. I could see some people, they don't maintain at all. They don't want to maintain at all. Students, some
Yes.
students. That should be made mandatory. That is important.
Okay. There are a question in a chat box. Some invasive plants happen to have medicinal qualities. For
Mm.
example, I am not able to read. Ergemon mexicana is a medicinal plant which is also considered invasive in India. I want to know such case, what should be the course of action when it comes to invasive species management?
No, sometimes invasive species will not be helpful for our environment. When we get some ailments in our country, that will not be that useful, because in that case, if you say that invasive plants has a medicinal value, then the therapeutic compounds or the active ingredients present in them only will be really useful. As such, we cannot, as I said, in tulasi, for tulasi, you can eat every day. You can eat one or two leaves. It will not affect. It is a kind of maintaining your immunity. But whereas in some invasive plants cases, you cannot do that. You have to check for the active ingredients. If they are really useful only, you can maintain them. Otherwise, it is better to classify them and take a care of them.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for answering questions. And I now hand over to the Mr. Gaurav for next session. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
very much, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
ma'am.
Nice
Thank
opportunity.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
We shall-
Amy, ma'am.
Mm.
Yeah.
So we
We
will
shall
have,
now move to our.
will be,
Yeah. Anybody want to say? Yeah. We shall now move to our second expert talk. We shall now forward to next expert today's webinar. Before that, it's my great pleasure to introduce the esteemed speaker, Dr. Anjali A. Kulkarni, Associate Professor at Department of Botany, Savitribai Phule University, Pune, Maharashtra. Dr. Anjali Madam completed her MSc in Botany with a specialization in cytogenetic from the Department of Botany, University of Pune. She earned her PhD from CSR National Chemical Laboratory NCL Pune, where her research focused on two important anti-cancer and medicinal plants, Himalayan yew and ashwagandha. Her pioneer work resulted in 3 research publications and a US patent. Following her doctorate study, she worked in a biotechnology industry and as a consultant before joining the Department of Botany at SPPU in 2023, 2013. Her current research focus on medicinal plant effective against diabetes and cancer, with a particular emphasis on understanding the mechanism of action of bioactive photochemical. She also collaborates with nanotechnology researchers to explore the biological potential of drugs-coated nanoparticles. Dr. Anjali has successfully secured national and international research grants worth more than 90 lakhs from the various funding agencies. She published over 20 peer-reviewed research papers, contributed in 10 books chapter, and hold a US patent and two Indian patents. Under her guidance, several research scholars have completed advanced study and currently PhD students are actively pursuing research in her laboratory. Apart from her academic and research achievement, Dr. Anjali has passionate about communicating plant science to people all age group and regularly engage in science outreach activity. Today, she will deliver an insightful talk on spices from ecology to pharmacy, where she will discuss the importance of spices from modern research perspective, their ecological significance, and their contribution to human health and sustainable living. Friends, please join me in extending a warm welcome to Dr. Anjali A. Kulkarni. Madam, we are honored to have you with us today. Over to you, Anjali. Madam.
Thank you so much, Gauravji. Am I clearly audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So at the outset, I would like to thank the IITM Outreach Center and so many of the collaborators that I'm seeing over here for giving me this wonderful opportunity because I always like to talk with interdisciplinary audiences because then the interaction is really interesting at the end of the talk. So if I can begin with my talk, I would like to share my screen. So do I have the permission to do that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can share your screen.
No, right now it is not giving me permission.
Okay. Ajay, ji, can you please help?
So by the time the permission is getting over here, so here Gauravji, many people from different backgrounds have joined. So generally, what is the audience like?
Yeah, they are like a researcher, environmentalist, general public. You can
Okay,
go through like a general public only.
okay, okay, right. Because it shouldn't be too technical.
No, ma'am, it should be a
Yes,
general.
yes, yes.
So everyone should know that thing. Uh, Ma'am, can you please share? Is the option
No, it is
available now?
no, it is still not giving. So, shall I email the presentation to you? You will be able to present, or what I should do? Because it is, I'm not still getting the permission.
Okay, you can share me.
Wait, actually, hostship has changed. So let me see if I can share.
Okay.
No.
If you can on.
So on your email only I should share?
Yes, madam.
Oh,
Ma'am,
I
can you
have
please
got the
check?
permission. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yes, ma'am.
So is my screen visible now?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Can you
Okay,
please make it full screen?
I have made it.
Uh, just change the slide.
Okay,
Yes, yeah, it's working now.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So I will be talking about spices from ecology to pharmacy. And as a introduction about myself has already been given, I will directly jump into the presentation. So I have been interested in spices since last 10 to 12 years, and I have looked at them from various perspectives. So if you look at the history of the spices, so India has been the one of the best countries from where since ancient times spices were produced and spices were exported. And ours was the land of spices as it was known in the Western Hemisphere. And if you look at the entire spectrum of India's history, it is completely based on the invasions by different people who wanted to control the spice route. So everybody knows about the Silk Route, where silks and many other commodities were exported via the Himalayan mountains. But there was this spice route also, because of which all the Indian spices were exported all over the world, and every westerner wanted to grab a piece of this lucrative pie, so to say, and everybody wanted to come here and acquire that, because you know what, at that time whatever spices were being exported, the westerners needed to pay for it in gold, and obviously then it was not possible. And yes, Parulji, you have raised your hand. Do you have any question? Okay, probably it's a mistake. So we have this in the diagram. I have shown that this is a painting that has been shown over here, and it shows the arrival of Vasco da Gama, who actually arrived on the coast of Calicut, and the Portuguese wanted to control the spice trade because their gold reserves were depleting. So they sent, so the king himself financed this voyage of Vasco da Gama, and he landed in on the coast of Kerala, and we know what happened afterwards. So they came in as traders, and then they took control of our country. The Portuguese were followed by Dutch, and then the East India Company, which led to the complete black chapter in the history of India, if I can say so. And they came in as traders, and they wanted to control the politics of it. We will not go into those details, but we have evidences from the literature and also through archaeological finds that the Harappan civilization, or the Sindhu Sanskriti as it is called, that was also using spices to a great extent. And we have got archaeological evidences like the fossilized grains have been found at the burial sites and at many of the excavation sites. So we have been pioneers in spice cultivation, spice use, and spice export. I wanted to just highlight that. And because of the immense diversity of the climate in India, more than 70 different spices are cultivated in India in today's scenario. And most of these spices are endemic to India. So, what I mean by endemic, that means the plants originated over here. So, obviously, we have the greatest biodiversity, which is one of the key topics on today's Environmental Day. And we really need to preserve this biodiversity. And I will be speaking a little bit about it, although it's a very vast topic. Now, if we have to look at the export, so 41% of our export earnings are from the spice trade alone. So you can imagine even today, we are at number one along with China in the spice export and spice trading. Also, another area of my interest is how these same spices are used in different ways in different cuisines. So, as we know, because of the vastness of India, there are so many communities and there are so many eating habits. and people use these spices in different dishes, and the combinations of spices is also very interesting. So just a little bit information I would like to share here with you. Recently, many computer scientists have become interested in this, because it's a very big or interesting task for big data, as you say, because you have so many dishes from all over India, and to document how the spice combinations are used in them. So many such people with computational background have become interested, and some publications have come out regarding that, and they have documented that the immense tastiness of the Indian dishes is because of the combination of spices having very different properties. So this point I will elaborate a little later also. And the Western dishes have very mild taste, and they tend to use spices with very mild or cool characteristics, so to say. So in general, from your personal experience also, everybody will be knowing that there are some so-called hot spices and there are some so-called cool spices. So I will be talking about that in a little while. So moving ahead, the ecology and biodiversity. So as I already told you, India is the center of origin in our technical terms. That means many of the spice plants originated in India and in the Indian subcontinent. So Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Bhutan. So all of these were the sources of origin or centers of origin for many of the spice crops. So we have the highest biodiversity over here. So everybody knows that the modern definition of biodiversity or biological diversity is in sort of a network model. So that has been modified in recent years. So it looks at genes and species to ecosystems and the valuable functions that they perform individually as well as in cooperation. So spice cultivation that has been happening in India is the best example of this. So in many tracts of India, even today, the traditional, highly sustainable practices of cultivation and harvesting are going on. So that is a good thing. But on the other hand, there are some, farms wherein the modern day techniques of intensive cultivation are now being practiced, and it is impacting the climate in a very bad way. So we have to find the middle path wherein we will be using the organic fertilizers and pesticides in order to conserve the immense amount of biological diversity, not only of the plants but also of the pollinators and many symbiotic insects that are present in the vicinity of these plants. Um, Right. So we have to devise these cultural practices in a more eco-friendly way so that we can maintain the biological diversity of the entire ecosystem as a whole, because that is the whole definition of biodiversity, that we do not have to consider only any one aspect of it, but we have to take a whole global view of the ecology and the biodiversity. So that is the high point that I wish to highlight over here. So resource heavy cultivation practices need to be avoided and organic farming practices need to be embraced in order to give a sustainable outlook for the entire spice cultivation industry. So that is the main point that I wanted to highlight. And we also need to conserve this wide amount of germplasm that is present in our country. And I am very happy to inform you that we have Indian Institute of Spices Research at Kerala, and they have already taken these steps in this regard. And six important spices like black pepper, cardamom, turmeric, all of these are being preserved. That means the immense variety of the germplasm is being preserved over there in the field or as tissue culture variants. So that is a very good thing, and we need to magnify these efforts in multiple more spices, because as I already told you, there are more than 60 spices, and some estimates say that there are around 70 to 75 spices that are cultivated all over India. So now when we think of spices today, we only think of spices as something that add hotness to the food or add color to the food, right? But if we have to think from the plant's perspective, so why plants produce these compounds, these so-called spicy compounds? So these are the chemical weapons for the plants. So production of these compounds helps plants to protect themselves from the attack of insects and pathogens and bacteria and fungi. So extrapolating that logic into the humans, exactly in the same way, these spicy products will help in controlling infections in humans also. So that has been one of the major importance of the use of spices. So I told you that Westerners were highly interested in Indian spices. So why was that? So if I take the example of black pepper, which was considered as black gold by the Europeans. So when you add pepper powder to especially meat products, it helps to preserve it because black pepper has very strong antimicrobial properties, so it does not allow the meat to go bad, right? So that was the before the era of preservatives and all. Black pepper was the natural preservative that was available at that time. So even in our traditional Indian dishes as well as in meat dishes that were being produced by the or prepared by the Westerners, black pepper powder was the choicest of the antimicrobial compounds that was used, and that's why it was extremely important in those days. Similarly, we nowadays everybody is aware about the antioxidant world. It has become very fashionable. We know that when we are stressed or when we are under any kind of disease umbrella, then we have many free radicals being produced in our body, and free radicals are harmful for our health, and spices are the best sources of the antioxidants which will quench these free radicals and give us health benefits. In addition to that, they are rich in vitamins and minerals, and also a number of chemically important molecules are produced by them, which have, as per modern research, have shown properties ranging from anti-cancer properties to anti-diabetic to anti-inflammatory, and you name any disease and we have a spice compound which is effective against it. And this is just not hearsay. All of these are published in peer reviewed journals because everybody wants to have a peer reviewed journal evidence. So in my next slide, I will be giving you some references at the bottom of the slide, and you can check that from very well known labs all over the world, people have started to work on it, and people have filed patents also based on that, and we are lagging behind in that race. So we have to buckle up and take proper care of our own intellectual property rights. As Nalini madam also earlier explained about the turmeric patent that was taken by USA. So many such cases are happening even today, and we really need to protect our own intellectual property right. Okay, so moving ahead, I just wanted to give you combinations, and they have getting the synergistic benefits. Telling that I've heard spices, they are bad for your health, they increase the heat in your body. But again, I would like to highlight the point that if you take anything in excess, then obviously it is going to be harmful for your body. But the traditional proportions that are accepted in our traditional ways of cooking, they are not at all harmful. Otherwise, all of us would be dead long ago, right? But we are thriving. India has one of the largest populations in the world. So at those values or at those quantities, spices are not at all harmful. I would like to take example of turmeric. So everybody knows the health benefits of turmeric, but you cannot take. So Ayurveda prescribes that you have to take at the most during 24 hours 1 teaspoon of turmeric in any form. So may it be in tadka or may it be in haldi doodh if you are drinking it in the night. But there are some foreign brands which are coming out with something called as turmeric latte, wherein they are adding huge amounts of turmeric in order to make that coffee. And then they are selling it at 500 rupees and all. And that is really bad because curcumin is such a compound that it is effective at low concentrations. At high concentrations, it is harmful. So you cannot add 3 teaspoons of turmeric to give that intense yellow color to a coffee and then say ki, oh, I got some bad effects when I consume that. So that is not expected. So many of these spice phytochemicals, the active phytochemicals, in technical terms, that effect is called as hormesis. So hormesis means that at low concentrations the compound is effective, at high concentration it becomes toxic. So we have to follow our own Indian traditional systems in order to understand ki what is the correct proportion of the spices, and it is everybody knows those. So traditional ways of cooking have clearly told that even in a tadka, you are not supposed to add more than half a teaspoon of haldi for any dish, right? Okay. So I'm not going to read this, but you can see that each and every disease is covered when you look at the spices that are routinely being used in our diet. And at the bottom, I have shown you the references taken from peer-reviewed and very high impact factor journals. Now moving ahead, black pepper is a favorite of mine. I have been working on it now since last more than 10 years. And the more I work on it, the more and more properties I'm able to identify for this wonder spice. So as I was telling you, there was this reference from many of the travelers who have published their travelogues, who visited India. And then one of the travelers, I'm forgetting his name, that before there was gold, there was pepper. So that's how popular black pepper was since ancient times, and everybody has used it in one way or the other. Now, let me tell you a very interesting property of this black pepper. So, preservative property, I already explained ki why Westerners were so much interested in it. So, the active molecule that is present in black pepper is called as piperine, and it shows antimicrobial, anti-diabetic, anti-allergy, and anti-inflammatory properties. So, all of this work I have personally done in my lab, and I have also communicated a paper on that. So, it is all based on using rigorous testing protocols. Another important property that was known to us since ancient times is known as a bioenhancer property, and it is now rampantly used by the pharmaceutical industry. I'm happy to say that people have finally realized the importance of black pepper. So traditionally, when a haldi doodh is prepared to be drunk, and that also is interesting because curcumin, which is the active metabolite in turmeric, is soluble only in lipids. So you cannot make a water plus turmeric drink, because then the active molecule will not come out. It comes out only in lipids. So when you mix it in milk, the milk lipids will help dissolve the curcumin into the milk, and it gives all the required benefits. But you are supposed to add a pinch of black pepper powder to it, so that the entire benefits of curcumin are delivered at your intestinal level. So imagine like we cannot imagine what type of experiments those earlier people did in order to understand this bioenhancer property of piperine. So piperine and curcumin together give you a wonderful result rather than curcumin being taken alone as a haldi doodh. But many families have forgotten this, point that they do not add black pepper when they take haldi doodh, because still I believe many families consume haldi doodh when the throat is sore and all that. But black pepper is not added. So start adding black pepper, pinch of black pepper in your haldi doodh every time you are drinking it, and it will give you the added benefits. And this was published by Dr. Mashekar's lab. Dr. Mashekar was director of NCL from where I did my PhD. And at that time only his work was published, re emphasizing the bioenhancer properties of piperine using modern research tools. And many pharmaceutical companies have now started to combine piperine along with the medical product that they wish to give to the patient, so that in the intestine the uptake of that molecule will be very easy, and it will give the fullest benefits to the people. So Nalini ma'am already had described a lot of things about curcuma longa or the turmeric. So I will not go into more details, but all of its properties that have been mentioned in our Ayurvedic texts, they have been proven through multiple research. I will not say proven, I will just say they have again been reproven, I should say, or validated through modern research, that it really has very strong antimicrobial, anti-cancer and cosmeceutical properties. So that's why you see use of haldi in so many of our cosmetic preparations, right from age old practices. When a person wants to become fair, it is said that you have to put turmeric on your face. So it reduces the tanning that happens due to melanin. So again, people have seen these effects with modern experiments, and also it brings down the incidence of acne, where acne are formed because of the microbial infection that is happening on your face. So when you add curcumin to your daily regime of face cleaning, etc., then you are reducing the microbial harmful microbial population on your face, because you still need to have beneficial microbes on your face as well as inside your body, and curcumin takes care of that as well. So again, as I emphasized, it has to be taken in the prescribed quantities, and do not take extra quantity of turmeric powder in your diet. Also in Western Maharashtra on the Konkan coast, there is another tradition of using haldi leaves. So here we are talking about the haldi powder, which is prepared from the underground stem of haldi plant, but the leaves also have very nice and a milder smell, and many dishes are prepared by wrapping the dish to be prepared in turmeric leaves and then steaming that. So many such dishes are available on the west coast of Maharashtra. So that is also another way, like a milder flavor from coming from different plant part. So its use is made differently, and a stronger compound having a stronger smell and stronger properties, that is used differently. So I always find these things very interesting. So these two were the so-called hot spices which are considered to generate heat. So you can imagine that they will be helping in improving the digestion also. So increase in heat means it improves your metabolism, and that is considered, both of these are considered as digestion enhancers. Now let's come to nutmeg. So the coffee lovers will understand about the use of nutmeg in the coffee, the traditional Indian coffee, not the brew and all those varieties. So nutmeg is actually dried seeds from a very big tree, and that is also very much peculiar to the Western Ghats of India. So as you know, Western Ghats is a biodiversity hotspot, and we again have multiple varieties of nutmeg present in the Western Ghat forests. So again, nutmeg has anti-inflammatory, anti-diabetic, and antimicrobial properties. The very nice fragrance that Zephyr has is because of the volatile oils. So you have to use it just before you want to add it to the dish. Otherwise, if you make a powder of it and keep it for a very long time in in loose bottles, then the flavor will disappear. So either you have to, if you are making a powder, then you have to keep it in very tightly closed containers so that the volatile oils should not escape. Otherwise, use it when, prepare the powder when you are going to use it in a dish. Also, here also the same property of hormesis. So in small quantities only nutmeg has to be used. Otherwise, in higher quantities, it has very strong intoxicating effects. And we have heard such cases wherein people have consumed a lot amount of nutmeg powder through their coffee, and they have become, comatose or something like that. So such cases are also known. So nutmeg is also suggested not to be given to very young children. On the other hand, the covering on this fruit, which is known as maize or jaipatri, that has a very, spectrum of compounds is very mild. So that can be given to younger children. So all of this is documented in our literature. So again, the same question some person had asked me, how this was known. So again, people must have done the trials and errors, but we have lost the evidence for that somehow. We do not have ki how this was obtained. We just know the conclusions that this way it has to be used, But all the trials, we have lost out on that. Very sorry for that. Otherwise, we all of us would have loved to understand ki what was the logic and what type of experimentation was carried out. But sadly, we have lost that, and we have only these, conclusion like statements that are available in Ayurvedic literature. So again, maize is very much preferred in Western type of products like bakery products because it has a milder smell. Whereas Zaifar is much preferred by Indians, which are even in the so-called cool spices, they prefer a slightly stronger smell in their dishes. So many of our sweet dishes are incomplete without adding of a nutmeg powder. So may it be shira or kheer or shrikhand, everywhere we tend to add. So all of these are so-called cool dishes, and so we add cool spices to them. Another so-called cool spice is cardamom, very favorite of everybody uh, from from the southern tip of India to the northernmost tip of India. Everybody uses cardamom, and interestingly, it is this green cardamom or the small cardamom is used in many of the sweet dishes, also in chai. Its other cousin, I would say, is the black cardamom or badi elaichi as it is called. So it is from a completely different plant family, and it has a very strong smell. So this cardamom is used in dishes like biryani. So both of them have similar compounds but not same. So this has a milder flavor, this has very stronger flavor. So accordingly, where they have to be used is predetermined. So obviously, you cannot use this black cardamom in any of your sweet dishes because then the taste balance would be not perfect. So this has to be kept in mind. So again, mind-boggling research has happened at the background, and we are getting fruits of those ready-made in our hand. Again, same way, because it has many volatile oils, they have to be prepared fresh. There is one more trend that is coming nowadays is that in these big malls, they sell these big packets like 500 grams of dhania powder or zira powder, and they will offer some scheme for that. But my advice is that most of these spices, the whoever has a very nice flavor, it contains volatile oils, and they are going to evaporate very quickly. So try to buy very small size pouches of the spices when you're going into the market and trying to purchase them. Or best way, you can have your own small silbatta in which you can crush the spices and use them very fresh in order to get the best benefits. Now coming to the next interesting topic, everybody has now heard about the gut microbiota. We know that our intestines harbor a large number of beneficial microbes which help in so many of our health related aspects. So if you are healthy, it means that your gut microbiota is in that it at optimum proportion of various bacterial species. So huge research is going on in this field, and people have now started to realize that the inclusion of spices, you know that India is a tropical country, it has a vast population of microbial flora in the atmosphere, in the soil, and wherever. So how are we being protected? But we are not falling sick at all times. We are in fact very resilient to multiple of infections, and we can sustain. And one of the reasons that people quote is because of the inclusion of spices in our diet. So these spices, because of their effective molecules, which I already told you, they have very strong antimicrobial properties, and because of which we are able to withstand the infections. So that was known since a very long time. And even many people had postulated during the COVID pandemic that as compared to Western countries, the number of deaths in our country, considering our very low level of infrastructure, was still pretty low. And many people postulated, including many Ayurvedic doctors, that it was because of the continued use of spices in our country since many generations, because that also matters, because the multiple generational use creates its own memory in our genetic makeup. So the other thing that has come out with recent research is that spices can act as prebiotics. That means they act in giving a conducive environment to our gut microbiota. One very interesting paper had come out just 2-3 years back. Sorry, I have forgotten to add the reference here as a footnote. That eating curry or the amti, as we call it in Maharashtra, even every day just once can change your gut microflora within 24 to 48 hours, and it will try to balance it out, because you know that we are getting exposed to pollutants and so many things. But still, if you eat a concoction of spices regularly in your diet in their optimum proportions, you are resetting your gut every time, so to say. So this is a very interesting observation, and people have done all the characterization of species and all of that. I will not go into those details, but please take your spices in your diet in proper proportions and do not fall prey to some half baked influencers telling you otherwise. So this is my last slide. Before I leave, I would like to leave you with a few thoughts. So that's why I called it as food for thought. Do we learn in our school education or even in college education that India is world spice capital? It produces the maximum amount and number of spices and exports to such a high extent, 41% of total horticultural produce. Nobody knows that. In We study about the food thali in our in school curriculum. So much of carbohydrates, so much of proteins. Why spices are never mentioned when they are playing such an important role? Do you know how many spices are used in your homes? What combinations your moms or grandmoms used in preparing various dishes, probably which are very signature dishes of your communities? Please go home and discuss with your mom and grandmom and try to find out in your community and in your region what are the predominant spices and what are the combos that are being used and how do they affect our health. So that is the food for thought that I would like to leave you with. Thank you so much. And you can get the contact details from Gauravji if anybody wants to contact me besides this talk, and I'm open for questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Anjali, madam, for your insightful and informative presentation. I am sure the participants have gained valuable knowledge about the ecological and health significance of spices. We will now move on the question and answer session. So, Rutik, are you there? Okay. Uh, Ma'am, the first question is, how does the air pollution influence the growth and quality of the spices plant?
Yeah, so sadly, we do not, at least I have not come across any studies which have done a quantitative analysis of this. But based on my knowledge, as far as I understand, I have seen spices growing in all sorts of stressful environments. So I would say that because they are having these effective phytochemicals, my idea would be that they would be able to withstand even the pollution effects to a great extent. Obviously, if it's some weird level of pollutants, it won't work. But in a pretty wide range of pollutants, I'm guessing that they will be resilient, because we already have some studies related to salt stress or water stress. So there people have found that spice plants can survive much better. So in fact, in many of the regions in Maharashtra where the land has become highly salty, people are now advising spice cultivation, obviously some specific varieties and all that.
Okay. Is any effect of climate change also?
Pardon?
Climate change?
Climate change. Actually, what is happening is that we know that the monsoon is shifting quite a bit.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
And
ma'am.
because of that, we have come across reports that in Kerala, which is actually our spice heavy state, people have reported that there have been many losses in those areas because of the changing environmental conditions. But IISR has again come up with a number of varieties which will be able to grow in these kinds of, shifting environments. So on their website, recently I checked, and they have released some varieties which are much more tolerant to all of these, environmental changes that are happening.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
There is a one question that nowadays we heard that oil extracted spices are being sold.
Hmm.
So how can we know by seeing only, because we can't smell it because it is a packed. So how can
Uh,
we?
yeah. So these claims come in from time to time, and my suggestion is that since we take our medicines from an authentic source, we go to a well-known pharmacy and buy that. So accordingly, you have to choose your sources very, very specifically. So there are many certified farmers which have been certified by various governmental agencies, IISR being one of them. So if they are using those certified seedlings or the propagules in order to produce their spices, then you have to choose these authentic sources, because just by smelling and all you cannot decide, because people can add sprays from the top. So that was also one of the case that was reported. But internally, if the content of the molecules is being lost, then you will not get the required benefits. So that's why choice of a correct source which have some sort of a certification is very, very important, and that has to be done again as per the region where you are present. So I'm sure that each state has these certified farmers or who are organic growers. So there are many such communities that are there, and then you have to source your spices from there.
Thank you, ma'am. Another question is that is the any spice that we are lost?
So there are a number of spices which were in a few years ago were very commonly found in particular cuisines. So since I am from Western Maharashtra, I know that there was a spice called as Nagakeshar. Now, if you go in the market and try to get it, it is rarely available. But that was a part of many curries that were traditionally prepared in South Konkan and Goa cuisine. So recently, one of my friends told that it was her memory of her grandmother that she used to use this spice, but now in their family they have forgotten to use it. So such kinds of, as I told you na, ki many of the informations we are missing down the line. We are, so that is called as McDonaldization. Everybody wants to prepare only paneer masala, and they do not want to prepare their traditional regional cuisines, and that's how we are losing many of these spices, and they are becoming obscure, and their sourcing of them is becoming much more difficult. So there are, at least I had listed 8 to 10 such spices which have been lost over the years from the daily kitchen shelves.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yeah.
Anyone want to ask question in meeting? Can raise their hands.
Mm. Ma'am,
Yes.
definitely. This is Nalini.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a very nice talk, ma'am.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, getting to know about spices was very interesting. If we, is it that
Um,
any spices of India have become extinct, anything like that?
no, I as per my knowledge, none have become extinct because in some pockets, people continue to use it. But again, I would say that I'm not very up to date in that aspect, especially from the point of view of extinction.
There's need to be a conservation, right?
Yes, yes.
Conservation
So
is very
I have not. I mean, I myself have not worked in that respect, and but you have given a very good idea to me. So I will now study about it if
the
such kind of thing
conservation,
has
yeah,
happened.
conservation is really, really important, ma'am. Because whatever I have learned in my early days, now I couldn't see them. That is
Mm-hmm.
where sometimes I feel I miss them. After rains, there will be so many plants. Nowadays, there are not so many plants are seen.
Okay,
Like that,
right.
conservation is very important.
Yes, yes, sure, sure.
Very nice, ma'am. Very nice meeting you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Now we have uh, reached the concluding part of today's program. And to deliver the vote of thanks, I would like to invite Mr. Vignesh, IT Officer, NIHR EICP Center, Ahmedabad. Over to you, Vignesh. Vignesh, are you there?
He really is giving vote of thanks instead
Okay,
of
okay, no problem.
Vignesh.
No problem.
Yeah. Okay.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Hello?
yes. Yeah, you may continue.
Hello?
Yeah, you may continue.
Yes, you are audible. You can continue.
Uh, Very good afternoon to everyone. As we come to end today's webinar organized on the occasion of World Environmental Day 2026, it is my pleasant duty to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of IITM EIACP Pune and NIOH-EIACP Ahmedabad. I extend our sincere gratitude to all the participants for joining us and making this program a successful through your active presence and interest. I am deeply thankful to our esteemed expert speakers, Dr. Nalini ma'am, for her enlightened talk on medicinal plant around us, her valuable insight on the importance of medicinal plants and their traditional uses and their role in promoting healthy lifestyle were truly informative and inspiring. I also express our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Anjali Kulkarni ma'am for her excellent presentation on spices from ecology to pharmacy. Her talk beautifully highlighted the significance of spices in health, biodiversity conservation, and sustainable living. I would also like to sincerely thank Mr. Sanjay Kotadia, co-coordinator of EIACP NIOH Ahmedabad, for providing a program overview and for his support in organizing the collaborating webinar. Our special thanks go to Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Ministry of India, Government of India for its continuous guidance and support through the EIACP program. I would also like to express our heartfelt thanks to Dr. Ankit Seth, Coordinator NIOHR EIACP Ahmedabad, and Dr. Lata R, Coordinator of IITM EIACP Pune, for their continuous guidance, encouragement, and supporting in organizing these collaborating webinars. We are grateful to the organizing team, IITM Pune and NIOH-EIACP Ahmedabad for their efforts in planning and successful conducting this webinar. Also, our heartfelt thankful to the Dr. Hiranmai, Professor of CUG Baroda, Before concluding, let us remember the message of World Environmental Day 2026. For theme is inspired by nature for climate for our future. Nature offers solution to many of the environmental challenges we face today. By adopting healthy lifestyle and environmentally responsible habits, each one of us can contribute towards climate action, biodiversity conservation, and sustainable future. Uh, Again, a heartful thanks to our both speaker, Dr. Nalini ma'am and Dr. Anjali ma'am, and also all the organization and supporters. And lastly, I thanks to all the participants who joined and enhance our webinar. Thank you so much everyone for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Uh, Now I would like to request to all participants to kindly switch on their camera and join us to take a mission life pledge. Can you please switch on your camera? So we will take a pledge. Here I will only read the pledge. You just listen. So okay. I pledge to make all possible changes in my daily life to protect the environment. I also commit to continuously motivate my family, friends, and others about the importance of environmentally friendly habits. Uh, in हिंदी लैंग्वेज यू कैन ऑल्सो टेक मैं प्रतिज्ञा करता हूँ कि पर्यावरण को बचाने के लिए अपने दैनिक जीवन में मैं हर संभव बदलाव लाऊंगा। मैं यह भी वचन देता हूँ कि अपने परिवार, मित्रों और अन्य लोगों को पर्यावरण के अनुकूल आदतों और व्यवहार के महत्व के विषय में मैं सतत प्रेरित करता रहूंगा। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you, Nalli ma'am. Thank you, Anjali ma'am, for accepting our invitation.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. And
Thank you.
also, I want to thank Professor Hiname ma'am for the reference of Dr. Nalli ma'am. Hello, Hiname ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you can say something.
Pardon, I don't get you. What?
Hiranme ma'am. Hello. I think she left.
I think, yeah, no, she's there, but her mic is muted.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. We can leave now. Thank you so much, ma'am. Anjali ma'am, Dr. Nalin ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.